Hey, it's Andre, and it's time to talk about episode 4 of Loki. Let's just get into it because, oh my gosh, this episode. Oh my gosh, this episode. Spoiler alert, we're going to get all into the spoilers of Loki episode 4, and there are spoilers. If you have not seen this episode, watch the episode first because there's some stuff in this one you're going to want to see before you see people talking about it. But if you have seen it, let's go. The episode starts off, and I'm guessing an alternate version of Asgard, where we see little Sylvie, little kid Sylvie, hanging out, playing with her toys. And the TVA comes in and is all like, you broke the sacred timeline, come with us. So Sylvie got taken by the TVA as a little girl, had to go through the whole process just like Loki did. And on top of that, Ravonna, who we've been seeing as the judge at the time, she was a TVA officer, and she was the one that actually brought Sylvie in. Messed up, Ravonna. Hold on. She does more. But before they were able to prune to get rid of little Sylvie, she fought Ravonna, took away her temp pad, and was able to escape. And they've been trying to find her ever since. We cut to present time where Ravonna had to go talk to the Timekeepers because, you know, she lost Loki, she lost Sylvie. Timekeepers ain't too pleased about that. And then Mobius goes up to her, is like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, the Timekeepers are very upset. They don't like that Loki has gotten away and the variants have gotten away. And Mobius is like, well, that's okay. We can figure it out. Just let me talk to Hunter C20. C20 was the one that Sylvie touched her head and she had the memories about margaritas and drinks. Ravonna's like, oh, she's dead. Mobius is like, what? I just talked to her not too long ago and I know she was saying some crazy babble, but she seemed to be fine. And Ravonna's like, nah, she dead. I'm like, Ravonna, is your name Simba? Because you are lying. I can tell right off the bat. We're like, oh, C20 dead. I'm like, you liar. We go back to the almost destroyed moon where Loki and Sylvie are trapped. And Sylvie tells her story to Loki about how the TVA took her as a child and how she's always felt so sad and alone because everywhere she's gone has been a Nexus event. She keeps making all these variations to the timeline because she is not supposed to exist. What I thought was pretty interesting as well is she said that she doesn't even really kind of know how she came to be. She said something like the world always wants to bring in chaos and therefore she existed.
The universe wants to break free, so it manifests chaos, like me.
Which again is this whole thing of like, is the sacred timeline supposed to be the thing that we're supposed to happen? Or maybe we are supposed to have the multiple timelines. We're supposed to have the multiverse. Maybe the world was making these variants like Sylvie to make that happen. And the TVA all this time has been trying to stop something that's actually supposed to happen. But on the flip side of that, Sylvie is feeling like she's not supposed to exist. This is some Jurassic Park stuff right here. Life finds a way. And Loki, of course, is feeling sympathetic to Sylvie, and Sylvie's feeling all sympathetic to Loki, and the world is coming apart, and they're all looking at each other's eyes, and I can't tell if it's like a, hey, I relate to you thing, or like a, hey, what's up thing. Like, I don't know what the relationship is going on here. All I know is they touched hands. And when they touched hands, that timeline went from this to that timeline went crazy. It was like, bang. What is it with Disney and holding hands causing craziness? Remember when like Rey and Kylo Ren touched hands and that did some crazy stuff in the Force? Now we got Loki and Sylvie touching hands, creates a brand new spike in the timeline. So Mobius was like, there they are. So Mobius and Loki have another one of their tete-a-tetes, their talks. And Loki's like, look, man, I know what's going on. And Mobius is like, no, you're just a liar. So I'm gonna put you in this time loop. And we get Sif. Sif is back. I was like, where you been, Sif? And she keeps coming over and over again, yelling at Loki, mad at him because he cut her hair, and then kicks and punches him. Walks away, comes back around again. You cut my hair, you always gonna be alone. Punch, kick, walk around. You cut my hair, you always gonna be alone. Punch, kick, walk around. It just keeps going over and over again. That's where Mobius stuck Loki. He's like, I'm gonna let you keep having this happen to you until you talk to me. With some real talk. Quit lying to me, Loki. But Loki's like, but the TVA is lying to you. But even though Mobius is trying to break Loki down, he still is suspecting something. So he tries to go over, see if he can talk to Sylvie. But they got guards all over Sylvie. Even B-15, who we've seen a couple times before, she's like, yeah, you can't come up in here. You know, we got it guarded. Why are you here? Shouldn't you be taking care of your Loki? And he's like, look, I don't understand why we can't control these Lokis. I mean, we've worked with so many different variants before. The Kree, Titans, vampires. I was like, wait, whoa. Hold on. You said vampires. We ain't had no vampires yet. Are y'all setting up Blade? Did they just set up Blade? They just set up Blade. Loki's still in his time loop and he starts crying. He's all like, look, Sif, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. And she's like, it's all good. Punch, kick. I'm sorry. I do these things because I'm a narcissist. And I'm afraid that I'm going to be alone. And Sif is like, yeah, you're going to always be alone. She don't punch and kick him that time. That time, the words punched and kicked enough. So they, of course, try to do the whole like interrogation thing, interrogating Sylvie and Loki separately. So he's all like, so what's this girl you hanging out with? Oh, you want to lie to me now so you can hang out with your twisted relationship of your version of yourself girlfriend? Maybe it was just me, but I feel like Mobius was a little jealous. He's all like, I thought we were friends. We were like hanging out and stuff, but now you with this female variant of yourself, of course you would love somebody that's basically you. And Loki's like, nah, I just met her. We just hang out on the moon that almost got destroyed. He's like, nah, I think you in cahoots. And then of course Loki was all like, nah, man, I did it. She had nothing to do with it. She was working for me. I was the one in charge all the time. And Mobius is like, you lying? He pulled them tactics on Loki too. He even lies to Loki, tells Loki that Sylvie is dead just to see how he'll react. And when he noticed that Loki got a little emotional, even though he was trying to act like he wasn't emotional, Mobius was like, no, I know what them eyes look like. And Loki's all like, nah, man, I just met her. What? It wasn't me. Mobius like, put him back in the loop. Put him back in the loop. And Loki was like, hey, Mobius, the TVA, they're lying to you. It's all a lie. You're a variant. You're a variant, Mobius. And Mobius is like, that's messed up. Take him away. But then Mobius was also like, but he might be telling the truth. So he goes, has a little talk with Ravonna. And Ravonna, this entire conversation was lying. Because she was all like, if you could go anywhere, where would you want to go? And he's all like, can I see C20? And she's like, nah, I told you she's dead. And he's like, are you sure she's dead? And she's like, yeah. She like went real quick. Like the moment you left, like she was totally fine until the moment you walked out the door. And then I don't know what happened. She just went crazy and died. The entire time this woman is talking, you're just like, lies, 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 yeah. He's like, all right, that's fine. Hey, that sword on your table. You should go put that on your shelf there, yeah. So while she's away, Mobius sees her temp pad, sees his temp pad, does the old switcheroo. I'm gonna take this with me. Don't tell her. Shh. And then he's like, I'm gonna go. And she's like, oh, you only had one drink. He's like, yeah, I gotta leave. I've had a long day. And she's like, oh, okay. You just gonna leave after one drink. All right, that's fine. Everybody's sussing this conversation, but Mobius ain't the only one getting suspect. Because remember, Sylvie touched old Hunter B-15, enchanted her mind, took her over, and Hunter 15 was like, hey, Sylvie, let's talk real quick. They go back to Alabama at Roxcart, and she's like, all right, I just gotta ask you a question in the rain. When you touched my temple and I was controlled by you, I saw something first. Something that looked like my life that I don't know about. Did you put that in my head? And Sylvia's like, nah, you a variant. That was a memory. Just like we saw with the other Hunter. Sylvia was like, nah, that's your memories. I can't make stuff up. If you see something in your head that looks like something you did, that is your memory, because that's what the TVA do. They wipe your memories. And she's like, do it again. So then Sylvie does that enchanting power. And we don't get to see Hunter B-15's memories. We just see her like looking, and then them tears come down. I'm like, don't make Hunter B-15 cry. He was all, I was happy. She knows. Uh-oh. It's all unraveling now. It's all unraveling now. While that's going down, Mobius looks at Ravonna's temp pad and sees some video of C20. And she's all like, I know I'm a variant. I know this is all a lie. I know that I have memories. I had a life before this. And then you see some footage of freaking Ravonna being like, shut it off. I love how when she's like, shut it down, she like literally looks at the camera like, yeah, it's me. I mean, she wasn't even trying to hide that face and said that she did something wrong. So yeah, C20 did not die. She was taken out because she knew too much. And Mobius now knows. So he goes back to Loki. He's like, all right, I believe you now. If you really think this is true, and you assure me that Sylvie ain't making up memories, these are actual memories that we have. And Loki's like, yeah, that's how it works. He's like, all right, you won't take this TVA down. Let's go. And then freaking Mobius, he's all like, Loki, let me just tell you something. I know that we have always been saying that, you're a loser and that you'll never amount to nothing. You're just destined for failure. I want to let you know that you can be anything you want to be. You can even be good. Mobius, that's so sweet, man. That's so beautiful. And then Loki and Mobius, they go through the gate, and then Ravonna is standing there with a bunch of guards. I'm like, oh shit. So Ravonna's like, I think you got something in mind. You know, just, you know, a little switcheroo. Sorry, mistake. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come with me. And he's like, hey, remember you asked me where I would want to go, what I want to do if I could go to any time? She's like, yeah. He's like, I want to go back to my previous life. I was like, Mobius, shut up. He's like, I might be was happy. I might have had a family. I might have had a jet ski. I want to go back to my jet ski. I'm like, Mobius, don't do this. And I saw them sticks light up. I was like, Mobius, don't, Disney Plus, don't you do this to me. And he's all like, I just want to go back to my previous life from a jet ski. And she's all like, prune him. And I'm like, no. And that stick, that light up stick touches old Mobius. Mobius to Mobius! Oh my God, they killed Mobius, you bastards! Oh, it hurt! I screamed out loud. I felt so bad. Freaking 12:48 in the morning, screaming out loud, and this fictional character just got destroyed. And you see Loki too, he was all like, my man! And then they go get Sylvie. It's like, hey, well, what happened to Hunter B-15? And somebody was like, oh, Hunter B-15, she might have been talking to Sylvie. And they're like, all right, well, go find Hunter B-15. I'm like, look, you already took out Mobius. Don't be taking B-15 as well. So Ravona's like, all right, y'all gonna get what y'all want. I'm gonna take y'all to the Timekeepers. Might be the last thing y'all do, but we going to see the Timekeepers. So Ravonna and Loki and Sylvie, they go in the elevator, heading down to the Timekeepers. And Sylvie was like, hey, before we go, you gotta tell me why you took me. Ravonna's like, what? She's like, yeah, I want you to tell me why you took me as a child. I must have been something really dangerous or something was really scary about me to make you do that. So why did you do it, huh? What was the reason? And freaking Ravonna Renslayer, she's like, I don't remember that. I don't remember why. And Sylvie was like, what? She's like, I don't remember why. I just took you. That was my job. Sylvie, the day that the TVA came into your world and took you away was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. She pulled an M. Bison. So we open up that elevator and they're the Timekeepers, these freaking giant CGI creatures floating up in the air like it's freaking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And they're all like, they really were like, they had these giant mustaches, and they're all like, you have ruined the time. Sylvie tried to run, but then Ravonna was like, oh no, I got y'all. I got them little clamps on you. So the Timekeepers are like, you've ruined everything, you gotta go. And then Sylvie runs off again. Ravonna's like, and she's like, wait, this ain't working. And then that's when Hunter B-15 was like, oh, what's up, y'all? I know I'm a variant. You messed up now. Releases Loki and Sylvie. Fighting time. We get a freaking Loki fight. They go full on like Ray and Ben Solo. They just go back to back and just start attacking everybody. Sticks flying everywhere, fighting the guards, fighting Ravonna. B-15's fighting as well. I was like, oh, shoot. The Timekeepers are like, what's going on? They knock out the guards. They knock down Ravonna. And then Loki and Sylvie are like, oh, we coming for you, Timekeepers. They throw a freaking blade up at the Timekeepers, slice a head off, and that thing comes down. And I'm like, please let it be fake. Please let it be fake. And sure enough, they turned that head around and they saw them wires. These things were robots. They weren't even real. The Timekeepers were the freaking rocket fire explosion. They had some Chuck E. Cheese animatronics running the whole universe. And so Loki's like, well then if they ain't real, who created TVA? Where all this come from? And then he looks at Sylvie and Sylvie looks at Loki and Loki's all like, hey, that's something I gotta tell you. I don't know how to do this because I normally don't do this, and it's all gonna be a moment and I can't wait to hear what he's gonna say. Who knows what it's going to be, and we won't find out. At least not right now, because the moment he put them hands on Sylvie's shoulders and was about to go, I need to tell you something, he didn't look behind him. Ravonna got that stick. Boom! Touched Loki. Ah, no! Not again! Mobius to Mobius, and now Loki to Loki. Loki gone. Loki dead. Ravonna killed him. What the hell? How many times did this man gotta die? It hurts. And so Sylvie knocks Ravonna down. Ravonna's like, do it. Kill me. Do it. And Sylvie's like, no, you're going to tell me everything that's going on. I want all the tea. Credits. And I was like, let me just sit here for a moment. Let me let this play out. And sure enough, when the main credits ended, we cut to Loki waking up. And, oh, Loki's still alive. Which is good because that means if Loki's still around, that means Mobius could still be around as well. And he looks up and he's like, am I dead? And you hear a voice off in the distance. Not yet, but you're gonna be if you don't come with us. And then Loki looks up and then all of a sudden it's freaking into the Lokiverse. There is a group of Lokis looking down at Loki. We get old Loki with like the classic Loki comic book look. We get kid Loki, little kid Loki, all modernized, ready to hang out and be to the extreme. We get a Loki Gator, this freaking Gator looking like the freaking pet from Jesse with horns on. Little Loki Gator. I hope he talks. I want him talking like Roller Gator. I want a freaking Loki Gator talking. And then we get, at first I was like, is that Black Thor? But it turns out in the credits, he's referred to as Boastful Loki. And he even has his own hammer. So we get all these Lokis and they're in this random location, some buildings and stuff in the background, but it's kind of broken down. This is my theory. I think that they are in an alternate timeline where Loki won. Remember in the first Avengers, Loki like opened up the portal, brought all the aliens and stuff in and tried to take over, but of course was stopped by the Avengers. I think where they're at right now is an alternate timeline where Loki actually won, where he actually took over. This is some Lord Draken stuff going on right now. So that's where I think they're at. We'll find out, but that's what I'm assuming right now, but not confirmed. Also, theory, I feel like the reason why we're seeing so many Lokis is going back to what Sylvie was talking about everywhere she goes, she causes a Nexus event, and that she felt like she was there because the world just kind of put her there to create chaos. I feel like that Lokis might be the key of starting a multiverse, like a Loki creates a Nexus event, and then that then leads to all the things that happen to create a multiverse. So that's what the TVA has been trying to do, stop all these Lokis and stop whatever has changed after a Loki has done something. So I think that's why they're not getting rid of the Lokis per se. They're just like kind of keeping them all in one place because they keep messing up the sacred timeline. Because if you are the god or goddess of mischief, what better way to cause some mischiefness than to cause mischief on the entire timeline of the universe? That's some mischief right there. But can we just again talk about the fact that we got all these Lokis? This is gonna be great in the Lokiverse. Let's go. I want all the Lokis. Give me every kind of Loki you got. Let's do this. Boastful Loki. Yeah, man, this was woo. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little yelly and I'm sorry if I'm just a little extra today, but this episode got me, man. Like I was like, this one got me good. I'm just, oh. Anyway, what did you think of episode 4 of Loki? Where do you think this is going to go next? Oh my gosh, this is exciting. I'm ready to see more of this. Thank you so much for listening to my nonsense. I appreciate it. If you like this nonsense and you're new here, please subscribe. If you've been here before, then keep watching. And maybe some other videos will pop up as well that aren't about Loki, but for right now, I'm all about this show. Thank you so much for watching. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. And maybe I'm a Loki. Black nerd Loki.